Step back in time to ancient Egypt, a world of pharaohs, pyramids, and power struggles. Our story centers on one of history's most captivating figures, Cleopatra VII. Forget the myths, let's uncover the real woman behind the legend. Cleopatra VII. Cleopatra ruled Egypt from 51 to 30 BCE. She was the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic kingdom. Her reign marked a pivotal moment in ancient history. This was a time of immense change and growing Roman influence. Egypt, though ancient, faced new challenges. Cleopatra had to navigate a complex political landscape. Her era was defined by strategic alliances and shifting power dynamics. It was a period where the fate of kingdoms hung in the balance. Cleopatra stood at the center of this storm. The Ptolemaic dynasty was a Macedonian Greek royal family. They ruled Egypt for nearly 300 years, starting in 305 BC. Their founder was Ptolemy Soter, a general of Alexander the Great. This dynasty maintained Greek culture while ruling over an ancient Egyptian population. They built magnificent cities like Alexandria. Their rule blended Hellenistic and Egyptian traditions. Cleopatra was born into this long line of rulers around 69 BC. She inherited a kingdom with a rich but complex heritage. Her lineage shaped her identity and her claim to the throne. The dynasty's history of internal conflict also influenced her reign. Power struggles were common among siblings and relatives. Cleopatra would face similar challenges early in her rule. Understanding the Ptolemaic background is key to understanding Cleopatra. She was the product of centuries of Hellenistic rule in Egypt. This heritage defined her early life and education. Cleopatra's Egypt was not isolated. It was deeply intertwined with the Mediterranean world. Rome, in particular, was an ever-present and growing power. The Roman Republic was expanding its influence. Egypt, with its wealth and strategic location, was a prime target. Roman politicians and generals took increasing interest in Egyptian affairs. Internal stability was also a challenge. The Ptolemaic court was often plagued by rivalries. Cleopatra herself would be forced to contend with her own siblings for control. This turbulent environment demanded a ruler with sharp political instincts. Cleopatra had to be a skilled diplomat and strategist. Her survival depended on her ability to forge powerful alliances. The blend of internal strife and external pressure created a volatile climate. Cleopatra's reign unfolded against this backdrop of uncertainty. It shaped every decision she made. Cleopatra reigned as Queen of Egypt for 21 years. She ascended to the throne in 51 BC. Her rule ended tragically in 30 BC. She was born in Alexandria, the capital city. Her father was Ptolemy Auletes. Her mother is believed to be Cleopatra the wife of Tryphena. Cleopatra had several siblings, including younger brothers she would co-rule with. These co-regencies often led to conflict. Power was rarely shared easily in the Ptolemaic family. She had 4 children. Her eldest, Caesarion, was with Julius Caesar. She had 3 more children, Alexander Helios, Cleopatra Selene II, and Ptolemy Philadelphus with Mark Antony. Her reign ended after the Battle of Actium. Her forces, allied with Mark Antony, were defeated by Octavian. Facing capture, she chose to end her own life. Her death marked the end of the Ptolemaic line. Egypt then became a Roman province. This event fundamentally changed the course of Egyptian history. Cleopatra's life spanned a critical period of transition. She witnessed the height of Ptolemaic power and its final collapse. Her story is inseparable from the end of an era. Cleopatra was born into privilege and power. As a member of the royal family, she received an exceptional education. This upbringing prepared her for the complexities of rule. Her family background was Macedonian Greek. However, she grew up in Egypt. This dual heritage influenced her perspective and skills. She was the daughter of Ptolemy Auletes. He was known for his efforts to maintain power through Roman support. His reign was marked by instability and exile. Cleopatra's early life likely involved court intrigue. She would have witnessed the political maneuvering firsthand. This provided valuable lessons for her future. Her upbringing instilled in her a deep understanding of her kingdom's position. She knew the importance of alliances. She also understood the need to assert her authority. Cleopatra was renowned for her intellect. She received a comprehensive education in the Hellenistic tradition. This included philosophy, oratory, and literature. Crucially, she was a gifted linguist. She reportedly spoke up to 9 languages. This was highly unusual for a Ptolemaic ruler. Most of her predecessors only spoke Greek. Cleopatra made the effort to learn Egyptian. This connected her more deeply with her subjects. Her fluency in multiple languages was a major asset. It allowed her to communicate directly with diplomats and rulers. She didn't need translators, giving her an edge in negotiations. Her education in Greek culture shaped her worldview. She was familiar with Greek philosophy and political thought. This informed her approach to governance and diplomacy. This blend of Hellenistic education and local understanding made her unique. She could bridge cultural divides. This skill was vital in her interactions with Rome and other powers. Her intellectual prowess was as significant as any other trait. It allowed her to analyze complex situations. She could devise sophisticated strategies to protect her kingdom. Cleopatra became queen at the young age of 18. She initially ruled with her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII. This co-regency quickly dissolved into conflict. Her brother's advisors sought to sideline her. Cleopatra was forced to flee Egypt. She began raising an army to reclaim her throne. This early challenge demonstrated her determination. She was not content to be a figurehead. She actively fought for her right to rule. Lacking sufficient military strength on her own, she sought external support. This led her to Julius Caesar, who arrived in Egypt pursuing his rival, Pompey. It was a fateful meeting. Cleopatra famously had herself smuggled to Caesar. Their meeting led to a powerful alliance. Caesar intervened in the Egyptian civil war on her behalf. With Caesar's help, Cleopatra defeated her brother's forces. She was restored to the throne as the sole ruler. This marked a significant victory for her political ambition. Her reign was characterized by her efforts to strengthen Egypt. She managed the kingdom's economy and administration. She aimed to restore its former glory. She was known for her charm and persuasive abilities. These were powerful tools in diplomacy. She used them effectively in her dealings with Roman leaders. Cleopatra was a pragmatic ruler. She understood the realities of power. She was willing to make difficult decisions to secure her position and her kingdom's future. Her political career was a masterclass in survival and strategy. She navigated treacherous waters with skill. Her actions had profound consequences for Egypt and Rome. Cleopatra became queen in 51 BCE. She shared the throne with her brother Ptolemy XIII. This arrangement was mandated by their father's will. By 48 BCE, tensions escalated. Cleopatra was forced to flee Alexandria. She gathered loyal forces in the eastern part of Egypt. Later that year, Julius Caesar arrived in Egypt. He became involved in the Ptolemaic power struggle. Cleopatra seized the opportunity to meet him. In 47 BCE, Cleopatra gave birth to Caesarion. This son was claimed to be Caesar's. His birth solidified her alliance with the powerful Roman. Cleopatra ruled alongside Caesar for a time. She even visited Rome. Her presence there caused a stir in Roman society. After Caesar's assassination in 44 BCE, she returned to Egypt. She ruled with Caesarion as co-regent. She focused on consolidating her power. In 34 BCE, she celebrated the donations of Alexandria. This event saw Mark Antony grant territories to Cleopatra and her children. It was a bold assertion of their power in the East. However, this act angered Rome. It contributed to the growing conflict with Octavian. The stage was set for the final confrontation. The Battle of Actium in 31 BCE was a disaster. It led directly to the end of her reign. Her political rise culminated in this tragic defeat. Cleopatra's relationship with Julius Caesar began in 48 BCE. She was 21, he was 52. Their meeting in Alexandria was the start of a pivotal alliance. Cleopatra needed Caesar's military support. Caesar needed Egypt's wealth and resources. Their connection was deeply strategic for both. Caesar helped Cleopatra regain her throne. He defeated her brother's forces in the Alexandrian War. This secured her position as Egypt's ruler. Their relationship was also personal. Cleopatra became Caesar's lover. She gave birth to their son Caesarion in 47 BCE. Caesarion's birth was politically significant. It potentially linked the Ptolemaic line to Caesar's lineage. This could have major implications for the future. Cleopatra spent time with Caesar in Rome. She lived in his villa. Her presence there was controversial among some Romans. The alliance benefited both. Egypt became a key ally of Rome. Caesar gained influence and resources from Egypt. Their partnership ended abruptly with Caesar's assassination in 44 BCE. This event plunged Rome into further civil war. It also left Cleopatra in a precarious position. She returned to Egypt after Caesar's death. She focused on ruling her kingdom and protecting her son. The future of her alliance with Rome was uncertain. Their story highlights the complex interplay of politics and personal relationships. It shows how alliances were forged and broken in the ancient world. Their bond shaped the destiny of kingdoms. The Battle of Actium was a naval confrontation. It took place off the coast of Greece in 31 BCE. It pitted the forces of Mark Antony and Cleopatra against Octavian. Cleopatra brought Egypt's fleet to support Antony. She contributed ships and resources to their combined force. Her involvement was crucial to their military strength. The battle was the climax of the civil war between Antony and Octavian. Octavian sought to consolidate power in Rome. Antony, allied with Cleopatra, represented a challenge to his authority. Cleopatra's fleet included 60 Egyptian warships. Antony commanded a larger force of Roman ships. Their combined navy was formidable. Octavian's fleet was led by his skilled general Agrippa. Agrippa's ships were smaller and faster. This gave them an advantage in maneuverability. During the battle, Cleopatra's ships retreated. The reasons for this are debated by historians. Some say it was a planned move, others a panicked flight. Antony followed Cleopatra's ships. This left his remaining forces vulnerable. His army on land was also eventually defeated. The retreat proved disastrous. It led to the collapse of Antony and Cleopatra's forces. It was a decisive victory for Octavian. The Battle of Actium sealed their fate. It ended their challenge to Octavian's power. It also marked the beginning of the end for independent Egypt. Cleopatra's role in the battle is controversial. Her decision to retreat remains a subject of historical debate. It had profound consequences for her and her kingdom. The defeat at Actium was devastating. Antony and Cleopatra retreated to Egypt. They faced the inevitable advance of Octavian's forces. Octavian pursued them to Alexandria. He laid siege to the city. Their situation was hopeless. Facing capture and humiliation in Rome, Antony committed suicide. He reportedly believed Cleopatra was already dead. His death left Cleopatra alone to face Octavian. Cleopatra attempted to negotiate with Octavian. She hoped to save her kingdom, or at least her children. Octavian, however, was determined to end her rule. Upon learning of Antony's death and Octavian's intentions, Cleopatra chose her own fate. She died by suicide in 30 BCE. The traditional account says she used an asp, a venomous snake. Her death marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty. It had ruled Egypt for nearly 3 centuries. Cleopatra was its last sovereign ruler. Egypt was then annexed by Rome. It became a Roman province. This ended Egypt's long history as an independent kingdom. Octavian's victory at Actium and subsequent conquest of Egypt solidified his power. He became the first Roman emperor taking the name Augustus. This ushered in a new era for Rome. The consequences of Actium were immense. It changed the political map of the Mediterranean. It brought Egypt under Roman control and ended the line of the pharaohs. Cleopatra's alliance with Mark Antony began in 41 BCE. Antony was one of the triumvirs ruling Rome after Caesar's death. He summoned Cleopatra to Tarsus. He needed Egypt's support for his military campaigns in the east. Cleopatra needed a powerful Roman ally after Caesar's death. Their meeting led to a political and personal bond. Like her relationship with Caesar, her connection with Antony was strategic. She aimed to expand Egypt's influence and territory. Antony sought resources and legitimacy in the east. Their partnership grew strong. They had 3 children together, twins Alexander Helios and Cleopatra Selene II, and Ptolemy Philadelphus. Their family further cemented their alliance. Antony granted Cleopatra significant territories in the east. These donations of Alexandria were controversial in Rome. They were seen as giving away Roman lands to a foreign queen. Their joint rule in the east challenged Octavian's power in the west. This rivalry escalated into civil war. The conflict culminated in the Battle of Actium. Their relationship became a symbol of the East versus West conflict. Roman propaganda portrayed Cleopatra as a seductive foreign queen corrupting Antony. This fueled public opinion against them. Despite the propaganda, their partnership was based on mutual political goals. They worked together to strengthen their position. They aimed to create a powerful Eastern bloc. Their story is one of ambition, love, and tragedy. It highlights the high stakes of ancient politics. Their alliance ultimately led to their downfall. Cleopatra has captivated imaginations for over 2 millennia. Her story has been told and retold in countless forms. These portrayals often blend fact and fiction. Ancient historians like Plutarch and Cassius Dio wrote about her. Their accounts provide valuable information. However, they were often influenced by Roman perspectives. Roman sources sometimes depicted her negatively. They emphasized her foreignness and her relationships with Roman leaders. This shaped early historical narratives. Over centuries, her image evolved. Medieval and Renaissance writers interpreted her story. Shakespeare's play Antony and Cleopatra is perhaps the most famous literary portrayal. Shakespeare's Cleopatra is complex and dramatic. She is portrayed as passionate, cunning, and ultimately tragic. This play has profoundly influenced modern perceptions. In art, Cleopatra has been depicted in various ways. Paintings and sculptures often focus on her beauty and exoticism. These images reflect the artistic styles and cultural biases of their time. The 20th century saw her brought to life on screen. Elizabeth Taylor's portrayal in the 1963 film Cleopatra is iconic. This film cemented her image as a glamorous and powerful figure in popular culture. These portrayals, while entertaining, often prioritize drama over historical accuracy. They frequently focus on her romances. Her political acumen and intellectual achievements are sometimes overlooked. The evolving portrayal of Cleopatra shows how history is interpreted. It reflects changing societal views on women, power, and foreignness. Her image remains a powerful cultural touchstone. Cleopatra has become a powerful symbol. She represents various ideas, often contradictory. Her image is used to convey beauty, power, seduction, and tragedy. As the last pharaoh, she symbolizes the end of an ancient era. She embodies the rich heritage of Egypt, yet she was also a product of Greek culture. She is often seen as a symbol of feminine power. She ruled a kingdom in a male-dominated world. She wielded influence over some of the most powerful men of her time. Her intelligence and multilingualism are symbols of her intellect. They show that her power came not just from status, but from skill. She was a formidable diplomat and ruler. In popular culture, she is frequently portrayed as a femme fatale. Her relationships with Caesar and Antony are often romanticized. This emphasizes her allure and seductive power. Symbols associated with her, like the asp, have entered popular consciousness. They evoke images of ancient Egypt and dramatic endings. These symbols contribute to her mystique. Cleopatra's symbolism is complex because her story is complex. She was a queen, a mother, a lover, and a politician. She defied simple categorization. Her enduring legacy as a symbol highlights her impact. She continues to fascinate and inspire. She remains a potent figure in discussions about women, power, and history. Cleopatra's reign ended with her death in 30 BCE. This followed the decisive defeat at the Battle of Actium. Her downfall was the result of her final strategic gamble. Her alliance with Mark Antony brought her into direct conflict with Octavian. Octavian was a shrewd and determined opponent. He successfully turned Roman opinion against Antony and Cleopatra. The propaganda war portrayed Cleopatra as a threat to Rome. She was depicted as an Eastern temptress corrupting a Roman leader. This narrative helped Octavian gain support. After Actium, Octavian pursued them to Egypt. He aimed to capture Cleopatra and parade her in Rome. This would have been the ultimate humiliation for the proud queen. Cleopatra tried to negotiate with Octavian. She hoped to preserve some power for her children. However, Octavian was unwilling to compromise. He wanted to fully annex Egypt. He saw Cleopatra as a dangerous figure who could potentially challenge Rome again. Her independent rule had to end. Facing inevitable capture, Cleopatra chose suicide. This act prevented Octavian from parading her as a captive. It allowed her to maintain a degree of dignity in her final moments. Her death marked the end of the Ptolemaic line. It also ended Egypt's independence. The kingdom she fought so hard to preserve became a Roman province. Cleopatra's downfall was a tragic end to a remarkable reign. It was the result of a clash between two powerful forces: the declining Ptolemaic kingdom and the rising Roman Empire. Her story is a testament to the high stakes of ancient power politics. Finding physical evidence of Cleopatra's life is a key goal for archaeologists. While her tomb remains undiscovered, other finds provide insights. Coins and busts offer clues to her appearance. Coin portraits from her reign show her profile. These depict a woman with strong features, not necessarily the idealized beauty of later art. They provide a more realistic image. The Berlin Cleopatra bust is another important artifact. It is believed to depict Cleopatra. It shows a woman with a royal diadem and distinctive features. These artifacts help historians understand how she presented herself. They challenge the popular image of her based solely on later artistic interpretations. They connect us to the historical figure. Archaeologists continue to search for her tomb. Sites like Taposiris Magna near Alexandria have been explored. Finding her burial place would be a monumental discovery. Such a find could reveal much about Ptolemaic burial practices. It could also provide more personal artifacts. It would offer unprecedented insights into her life and death. Underwater archaeology in Alexandria has also yielded finds. Remains of ancient palaces and artifacts have been discovered. These shed light on the city where she lived and ruled. These discoveries are vital for understanding Cleopatra beyond the myths. They provide tangible links to her era. They help piece together the puzzle of her life and times. The search for more evidence continues. Each new find adds another layer to our understanding. Archaeology plays a crucial role in separating historical fact from legend. Cleopatra was a woman ruling in a world dominated by men. She defied traditional gender expectations of her time. Her reign challenges assumptions about female leadership in antiquity. She held ultimate political power. She commanded armies and negotiated with foreign rulers. These were roles typically reserved for men. Her ability to maintain power for over 2 decades is remarkable. She navigated complex political landscapes through skill and determination. She was not merely a consort, but a ruler in her own right. Her story has inspired discussions about women in power throughout history. From Shakespeare's era to modern times, her figure has been used to explore anxieties and perceptions about female authority. In Elizabethan England, Queen Elizabeth I also ruled independently. Cleopatra's story resonated in a society grappling with a powerful female monarch. The play Antony and Cleopatra reflects some of these contemporary concerns. Today, Cleopatra's legacy continues to influence discussions about gender and leadership. She serves as a historical example of a woman who broke barriers. Her story highlights the challenges faced by women seeking power. Her intelligence, education, and political skills were key to her success. These qualities were often downplayed in favor of focusing on her beauty or relationships. This reflects historical biases against acknowledging women's intellectual and political capabilities. Cleopatra's life demonstrates that women could and did wield significant power in the ancient world. Her story encourages us to look beyond traditional narratives. It prompts us to recognize the contributions of powerful women throughout history. There is often a significant gap between the historical Cleopatra and her portrayal in popular culture. Movies, books, and art have shaped public perception. These often prioritize entertainment over accuracy. Popular culture frequently focuses on her beauty and romantic life. Her relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony are central themes. This narrative often overshadows her political achievements and intellectual prowess. Historical accounts, while sometimes biased, provide a more nuanced view. They describe her as highly intelligent, multilingual, and a skilled administrator. Her political maneuvering and diplomatic efforts were crucial to her reign. The image of Cleopatra as primarily a seductress is largely a creation of later narratives. While she used her charm and charisma, she was first and foremost a political leader. Her alliances were strategic, not just romantic. Films like the 1963 Cleopatra are visually stunning and entertaining. However, they contribute to the romanticized image. They emphasize the drama of her love life more than the complexities of her rule. Understanding the difference between historical fact and popular fiction is important. It allows for a more accurate appreciation of her true significance. We can see her not just as a figure of romance, but as a powerful historical agent. By examining historical sources alongside cultural portrayals, we gain a fuller picture. We can appreciate both the historical figure and the enduring myth. Cleopatra's story highlights how history is interpreted and reimagined over time. Cleopatra VII remains one of history's most fascinating figures. She was the last pharaoh of Egypt, a brilliant ruler and a master diplomat. Her life story is a captivating blend of power, politics, and personal drama. She ruled for over 2 decades, navigating a world dominated by Roman power. Her intelligence, multilingualism, and political skills were her greatest assets. She fought fiercely to preserve her kingdom's independence. Her alliances with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony were strategic moves. They aimed to strengthen her position and protect Egypt. These relationships, however, ultimately led to her downfall. The Battle of Actium and her subsequent death marked the end of an era. The Ptolemaic dynasty fell, and Egypt became a Roman province. This event changed the course of history for both regions. Cleopatra's legacy endures in many ways. She symbolizes female power and leadership. Her story continues to inspire art, literature, and popular culture around the world. Archaeological discoveries continue to shed light on her life. They help us move beyond the myths and connect with the historical figure. The search for her tomb continues to capture the imagination. Cleopatra was more than just a queen or a romantic figure. She was a highly educated, politically astute ruler who left an indelible mark on history. Her story reminds us of the complexities of ancient power and the enduring fascination with this remarkable woman. Want to learn more about ancient Egypt and its incredible rulers? Dive deeper into the history. Subscribe to this channel for more historical documentaries, explore resources from museums and universities, and share your thoughts in the comments below.